Hi, I'm Cynthia Powell, and today I'm going to be reading Life of a Military Child, written by Patricia Johnson. I hope you enjoy it. Grace grew up as the only child of two military parents in a small town called Eatonton, Florida. Even though she moved a lot, every time felt like the first time. She felt sad when her parents told her about their new assignment because that meant leaving her friends she worked so hard to make. It was hard for Grace to make friends, always being the new kid, while all the other kids were already in friend groups. Were any kids her age going to live close by? Will they be nice to her, or will they make fun of her? As Grace's family sat on the couch, her parents told her stories as they wrapped their family heirlooms. Grace couldn't wait until she met a new friend to share her favorite things. Sharing stories, looking at pictures, and making new family memories was Grace's most favorite part of moving. As they finished packing and loading their vehicle, Grace looked out the window and waved goodbye to their house as they drove away. Familiar sights passed away as she drifted off to sleep and woke up in a whole new city. Grace's parents drove to a hotel on base and got them settled in for the night. To her surprise, while she was asleep, they stopped and got her favorite food for dinner. Her mom kissed her forehead and thanked her for serving too. "You're my favorite little airman, and I appreciate your sacrifice, sweetheart. A friend of mine from tech school lives in our new neighborhood and has a little girl your age," Grace's mom said. The next day, Grace and her family moved into their new home and had dinner with her mom's friends who lived across the street. Everyone smiled and greeted each other while Grace hid behind her mom. Her mom stepped back and said, "Grace, this is Rachel. You're going to be in the same school together." Rachel said, "Hi, you want to see my room?" Grace looked at her mom, and after she nodded, Grace responded, "Okay." Rachel grabbed Grace's hand and ran upstairs toward her room and closed the door. She was also an only child and told Grace how happy she was to have someone to play with. She asked if she liked to play tic-tac-toe, and Gracie's eyes lit up, and she screamed, "That's my favorite game!" They laughed and played for hours, but it only felt like a few minutes had passed. The next day, Grace's parents dropped her off at school and waved goodbye. As soon as she walked in the entrance, a couple of older boys brushed past her, knocking her notebooks out of her hand. "Watch where you're walking," they yelled and kicked her books down the hallway. Grace tried hard not to cry, but one tear rolled down her cheeks as she walked over and picked up her books. As she stood up, she heard a voice say, "Ignore them. Those boys can be rude." It was Rachel. They always pick on people. It'll be easier once you start making some friends. "Let's go. I'll show you where your class is so you're not late," Rachel said. Grace's mom picked her up after school, and as she drove home, Grace told her all about getting picked on and Rachel making her feel better. "Mom," Rachel said, "once I start making friends at school, I won't be sad anymore," Grace said. "That's right, baby. I'm so proud of you. You're growing up so fast," Grace's mom said. At the dinner table, Grace's parents shared stories about the military moving them around before she was born and how they had had a hard time adjusting as well. They let her know it's easier now because she can use her phone to keep in touch with her old friends while she makes new friends at this new base. They encourage her to try some activities after school so she could have fun and make more friends. Grace, being a part of a military family, is an adventure. Moving is hard, but we get to see so many places and make so many new memories. You just have to be a little patient when we relocate because it takes time to make new friends. Grace's parents said, "Thanks, Mom and Dad. I feel better. You're the best parents ever," Grace said. After dinner, Grace did her homework and looked at all the activities her school had. She decided she wanted to play soccer because she loved running and wanted to be a part of a team. As she went downstairs to tell her parents, she heard a knock on the door. It was Rachel, asking if she could come out to play with the other kids in the neighborhood. Her parents said it was okay if she finished her homework and to be back home before dark. Grace finished her homework and ran outside with Rachel as she introduced her to the rest of the kids. They were playing kickball in a field at the end of the street and were all having a great time. Grace found out that some of the other kids just moved in too. As they played, they shared stories about where they came from and what kinds of things that they liked. As the sun started setting, Grace said goodbye to all her new friends and went back home. As she came inside the house, her mom asked if she'd had fun. "Yes, ma'am. Rachel took me to play kickball with the other kids, and they just moved here too. They told me all about these cool places, and now I need to make a bucket list," Grace said. "That's great, Grace. I'm glad you had fun. But how about you head upstairs and take a shower before you go exploring the world, little lady," her mom said. "Yes, ma'am," Grace said, and ran upstairs. Grace's parents talked about how glad they were that she was handling the transition so well and discussed some other ways they could make things easier for her. Grace's dad said, "We need to support one another and make sure we have something to connect with so no one feels left out." "That's right, love. As long as we talk about what we're feeling and what we're dealing with, we can tackle anything together as a family," Grace's mom said. And that is the end.